I am Dr. Jocelyn. Today, our special topic is something that affects most people over 40 and 50, and I want you to listen to my words carefully because what I'm about to share could change how your brain feels after sunset. Over 60% of older adults report feeling mentally slower in the evening. That's not just a guess, it's real data. And yet, many people brush it off as just getting old. Let me be honest with you. After decades of talking to people who describe this quiet fog, this strange slowing down of the mind after dinner, I can tell you something with confidence. It's not your memory that's failing, it's your blood flow. I've seen it over and over. People in their 60s, 70s, and even beyond who read, think clearly, and engage fully during the day. And then, as the sun starts to go down, the mental drag sets in. You lose your train of thought. You walk into a room and forget why. You reread the same sentence 3 times and nothing sticks. Sound familiar? That's not dementia. That's not the end of anything. That's your brain running low on fuel. Your brain is only about 2% of your body's weight, yet it uses more than 20% of your oxygen. Oxygen only gets there through your blood circulation. By the time you're 65, the vessels that feed your brain become less flexible. Less flexible vessels mean slower blood flow, and slower flow means less clarity. But here's the important part. You don't need drugs. You don't even need expensive supplements. What you need is food, the right food at the right time. Tonight, I'm going to show you 3 vegetables that improve blood flow to your brain naturally, gently, and in a way that works while you sleep. These aren't exotic. They are probably already in your kitchen, but used intentionally, they become some of the most powerful tools for keeping your mind sharp after sunset. And the third one might just make you feel a difference by the end of the week. Let's start with something simple, yet surprisingly powerful. Tomatoes. You've seen them your whole life. Salads, sauces, soups. But they contain a compound called lycopene, which helps your blood vessels stay flexible and reduces inflammation inside the arteries. As we age, stiff vessels mean less oxygen reaches the brain, and that's when the evening fog starts. Studies show older adults with higher lycopene levels have better blood flow in the prefrontal cortex, the area of the brain responsible for short-term memory, focus, and planning. Lycopene also reduces neuroinflammation, a hidden factor behind fatigue, forgetfulness, and poor focus that can feel like early-stage dementia, but isn't. Here's the key: bioavailability. Raw tomatoes contain lycopene, but it's locked in. Heat and healthy fat release it. That's why roasted tomatoes or tomato sauce with olive oil work best. A small portion, half a cup of cooked tomatoes or a small roasted tomato with dinner, is enough. The timing matters too. Eating tomatoes with your evening meal lets your body absorb and deliver lycopene while your brain is recovering during sleep. This is a simple, natural, safe way to give your mind a fighting chance. If tomatoes are gentle support for your brain's blood vessels, onions are the quiet force that clears the path. I want you to listen carefully because this is where circulation gets a real boost. Inside every layer of an onion is a flavonoid called quercetin. It's sharp, it's active, and for people over 40 or 50, it can be one of the most underrated compounds for restoring brain circulation. While lycopene works on the structure of your vessels, quercetin works directly on the blood itself. Specifically, quercetin reduces platelet aggregation, the tendency of blood cells to stick together and slow down circulation. As we age, blood often becomes thicker and circulation slows, especially in the tiny vessels that feed the brain. Quercetin thins the blood just enough to keep it moving smoothly, not dangerously, but naturally, through the food you eat. This supports microcirculation, which is the delivery of oxygen and nutrients through the smallest arteries in the brain. Clinical studies back this up. Research shows that older adults who regularly consume quercetin-rich foods experience improved blood flow in the hippocampus, the area responsible for memory formation and retrieval. Another study reported that quercetin also lowers oxidative stress in the brain, protecting the inner walls of blood vessels from damage and keeping them flexible and responsive. But onions do something even more powerful. Alongside quercetin, they contain sulfur compounds, the ones that make your eyes water when you chop them. Inside your body, these compounds activate glutathione, one of the strongest natural antioxidants. Glutathione protects blood vessel walls and reduces silent inflammation that narrows arteries over time. When the thinning effect of quercetin combines with the anti-inflammatory power of sulfur compounds, blood reaches areas of the brain that were previously starved for oxygen. That's when fog lifts and mental clarity returns. You don't need supplements. Regularly including onions in your meals is enough. Red onions have the highest quercetin content, but all types help. Light cooking preserves the benefits while softening the sharp taste. Sautéing in olive oil is one of the best ways to absorb the compounds effectively. Half an onion a day is sufficient. Even just a few slices at lunch or dinner will support better brain blood flow over time. I remember a man named Carl, 69 years old. He told me that by evening, his thinking felt slow, and he struggled to focus on simple tasks. We added onions to his meals daily, lightly cooked with olive oil. Within a couple of weeks, he noticed that he felt sharper after dinner. He said, "It's like my brain can finally breathe again." That's the difference good circulation makes. Up next is the green vegetable that works in a completely different way. Spinach doesn't just support blood flow or thin the blood, it actually opens vessels from the inside through a natural biological pathway that activates while you sleep. This one may be the strongest ally for brain health yet. You've seen how tomatoes soften vessels and onions help the blood move smoothly. Now, spinach works from within, giving your brain more oxygen, more clarity, and more energy quietly while you rest. Now let's talk about spinach, the green powerhouse that works from the inside out. Spinach doesn't just soften blood vessels or help the blood flow like tomatoes and onions. It activates a natural biological pathway that opens vessels while you sleep, giving your brain more oxygen, more clarity, and more energy. This process is called nitric oxide activation, and spinach is one of the most effective foods to trigger it. Spinach is rich in dietary nitrates. When you eat it, bacteria in your mouth convert these nitrates into nitrites, which your body then transforms into nitric oxide, a gas molecule that relaxes and dilates your blood vessels. This is especially important in the evening when circulation naturally slows. The result is more open arteries, better oxygen delivery, and deeper nourishment to the areas of your brain that suffer first from low blood flow. Studies back this up. Research published in the Journal of Clinical Nutrition in 2020 followed adults over 65 who consumed a nitrate rich spinach beverage daily. Within just 10 days, their cerebral blood flow increased, particularly in the prefrontal cortex, an area responsible for executive function, focus, and mental flexibility. Another study in Frontiers in Aging Neuroscience in 2021 showed that participants who ate nitrate rich greens before bed had better cognitive performance the next morning, especially in reaction time and focus tasks. What's striking is how fast this works. Unlike structural changes in the brain, which take months, the nitric oxide response can begin in a matter of hours. It's a dynamic system that listens to what you eat and responds almost immediately. It's even more effective when blood vessels are inflamed or narrowed, which is common after 60. When nitric oxide is produced, the smooth muscles in vessel walls relax, letting blood flow easily through tiny arteries that feed your memory center. There's one important catch. This system only works if the nitrate pathway is preserved. That means avoiding antibacterial mouthwash around mealtimes. Your mouth bacteria are part of the chain that converts nitrates into nitric oxide. Kill them with mouthwash, and the link is broken. The best approach is to eat spinach in the evening after your last brushing, but before using mouthwash. Let your body do what it was built to do. Cooked spinach is ideal. Light steaming or sautéing makes it easier to digest while providing a concentrated dose of nitrates. Half a cup of lightly cooked spinach delivers roughly 250 milligrams of nitrate, enough to stimulate healthy nitric oxide production. You don't need to juice it, powder it, or take a pill. Just eat it warm, simple, and consistently. I remember a man named Frank, 71. Sharp in the morning but foggy by 7 p.m., he added spinach to his dinners for 12 nights in a row. By the end of week 2, he said, "I didn't forget my parking spot. That hasn't happened in months." This isn't magic. It's science, working with nature, steady, proven, and safe. Spinach may look ordinary, but in the quiet hours of the night, it becomes one of the strongest allies your mind can have. In the next part, I'll show you how to bring all 3 of these vegetables together into a simple daily routine. No complicated diet, no extreme measures, just a rhythm that creates real momentum for your brain and helps you feel sharper, more focused, and more present every day. By now, you've seen how 3 simple vegetables each support a different part of your brain circulation system. Tomatoes soften the vessels, onions clear the path, and spinach opens the flow from within. But knowing this isn't enough. Real change comes from doing. The best way to begin is by building a rhythm, a daily pattern that becomes second nature. Start your morning lightly. You don't need a heavy breakfast to support your brain. Focus on hydration and gentle movement. Your first real chance to support circulation begins at lunch. Add a few slices of red onion to your plate. You can stir them into a salad, layer them over a piece of grilled chicken, or lightly sauté them in olive oil. Even a small amount delivers the quercetin your blood needs to flow freely. Consistency is key. In the afternoon, continue your day normally. There's no pressure to prepare anything special, but avoid skipping meals. An empty stomach causes blood sugar dips, which can mask the effects of better circulation. The evening is when you stack the benefits. Start with a small side of cooked spinach, lightly steamed or sauteed. Half a cup is enough. Make this the base of your meal, not just a side note. Next, add tomatoes. Roasted, simmered into a sauce, or blended into a warm soup. Cooking releases lycopene, and pairing it with olive oil increases absorption. One small tomato or half a cup of sauce is enough. If you're short on time, combine all three ingredients in one dish. A simple spinach and tomato stir fry with onions and garlic, or a warm vegetable soup with all three simmered together, works perfectly. This isn't a diet, it's a gentle daily practice. You don't need perfection, just presence. Doing this 5 days a week is enough to notice a difference. Gradually, you'll see more mental clarity, less evening fog, and a sense of being more present with others and with yourself. Once you feel it, you won't want to go back because nothing feels better than feeling like yourself again. Memory loss, confusion, and mental fog aren't signs that your brain is broken. They are signals. Your brain is still trying, still working, and still hoping for a better supply of what it needs. Now you know how to give it that supply. Not with medication or expensive programs, but with 3 ordinary vegetables used purposefully: tomatoes, onions, and spinach. Used consistently and with care, these foods have powerful effects. When blood flows freely, the brain lights up. And when your brain lights up, so does your life. You don't have to accept the fog. You don't have to settle for fading clarity. You still have time to feel sharp, present, and like yourself again. Start tonight. Make one change. Then build on it quietly, steadily, and faithfully. Share what you've learned with someone who could use it. Remember, it's not too late. You are not too far gone. Your brain is still listening, still capable of recovery, and ready to respond to good nutrition. Take care of it, and it will take care of you. Your life and your mind can shine again, simply, naturally, and safely.